Hi, this is Rod from Winning Edge Investments and Champion Bets, and this is a video on how to get the best price you can. Apologies for the bad audio, I don't do many videos and this is the best software I could find. This video will be focused on horse racing, harness racing and greyhounds, not sports. And I tend to bet in the last 5 minutes before the race, so we'll be looking at late betting today and not early betting. Getting the best price you can is probably one of the most underrated aspects of successful punting. So most punters will pick out their selections. There might be 220 or 210 in the market, and even though everyone wants to get the 220, most would be happy enough to get the 210. If you rated that horse at $2, so a 50% chance, and you got 220 every time you bet it instead of 210, you would end up with double the raw profit in your back pocket long term. Because the important thing is that 220 is 20 cents above your rated price of 2, and 20 cents is double 10 cents, which is what you get with 210. So that means double the long-term profit. So small differences in price can have a big effect on your raw profit at the end of the day. So getting the best price you can essentially boils down to working out which way the market is moving on your selection. If the horse is drifting or the price is moving higher, you want to wait to back your horse at a better price later. If your horse is firming, so the price is moving lower, it's getting backed, it's the market mover, you want to back your horse now at the best price. The screen you can see in front of you at the moment is Dynamic Odds. Every professional racing punter in Australia has Dynamic Odds. It's the best tool out there. It does several things. You can bet through it. You can record price alerts, you can take notes, but most importantly it shows you the odds on the major bookmakers in Australia. A few of the features that are important are a green flash on a price indicates that a price has drifted or it's moved higher. A red flash on a price indicates that the horse is firming or the price has moved lower. A blue square indicates the best price available out of the bookies that you have displayed. There is also a marker percentage row down the bottom here, and there is a pools matched row down the bottom here. The dynamic odds setup I have is I have the corporate bookmakers that show an individual price across the top. I don't have Neds because it shows the same price as Ladbrokes, and I don't have Bet365 because they don't feed into Dynamic Odds. I also have the Betfair back and lay price and the three totes, the Vic tote, New South Wales tote and UBet tote. I also have a FLUK chart on the left hand side here. With the FLUK chart you can choose one bookmaker and you can choose the time period over which to display the odds. So I choose the odds over the last 5 minutes. There are three bookies I focus on when it comes to getting the best price I can, and they are Betfair, Sportsbet and TopSport. So why are those bookies? Betfair, in my opinion, is the most accurate market in the world when it's liquid. Anyone can bet there, so the professional money is in there, and also the bookies can lay there, so there's that information too. It gets good volume when it's liquid, and all these factors mean that the prices are really accurate. Sportsbet is the largest corporate bookmaker in Australia, so they also get really large volumes bet there, which helps shapes the price. In my opinion, they have good systems in place because they tend to be very quick to move on price when it needs to. TopSport will also take a bet from anyone, so the professional money is there, and I find they're not afraid to have an opinion, which is good given they're getting informed money. I also keep an eye on Ladbrokes and Unibet. They're international bookies, so they might be getting information from overseas bettors. They must have decent pool sizes and decent resources, and they do have some opinion. The other bookies I find are just not that useful. They have small pools, they tend to be market followers, and their prices are up and down, so any price moves they do have tend to be unreliable and not that informative. So there are three major things I look at when it comes to getting the best price you can. And the first thing is the Betfair price and how it compares to the corporate prices. Now the Betfair price needs to be liquid. So the way I work out that the Betfair price is liquid, in other words there's lots of money bet into the pool so the prices are accurate, is I look at the pool volume, which is down here. That's $51,000 at the moment for this race. Any figure above $3,000 I find is generally getting liquid, so this is more than enough. I also look at the gap between the back and the lay prices. If it's small, that generally means it's a liquid market, and you can see the gaps are small here at the moment. The market percentage, if it's close to 101 or 102, then it's also liquid. You can see that here it's 101. And the time before the race, the closer to start time, the more liquid the market will be. 6 minutes out from a standard midweek race is a short enough time before start time that the market should be liquid. Metro races on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and sometimes Friday nights. The market is most accurate in the last 10 minutes, but it can be liquid hours before the race. On regular races, I find somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes before the race, the markets tend to be liquid. When it comes to harness races and greyhounds, all of them, they tend to be liquid only a minute, maybe even 30 seconds before the race. Betfair is almost always higher than the corporate bookmaker price because they remove their commission from winning bets after the race. And I find on average Betfair is around 2 to 3 ticks higher than the corporate price. So by a tick I mean similar to a roll on the old bookmaker boards. For example, if we have a look at Blonde Venture here, number 1, it's $15 to $16 across most of the corporate bookmakers. At this price level a tick is worth $1, and it was 17 at Betfair just then, so that's about 2 ticks above the corporate price. If we look at a lower price level down here, the corporate bookies are around $1.70. Betfair is $1.90. At this price level, I treat a tick as 5 cents, so $1.70 compared to $1.90. The Betfair price is about 4 ticks higher in this example. This notepad file is an example of what each tick is worth at each price range. For example, from the $1 to $1.20 price range, I treat each tick as around 1 cent, and so on up to $15 to $20 price range where I treat each tick as $1. So the Betfair price is generally 2 to 3 ticks above the corporate price as I mentioned. When it's not, and this is the key, that's when it gives you a clue which way the corporate price might be about to move. So if we have a look at Denied, for example, we can see the Betfair price is $12.50, and we know this is reasonably accurate because we're in a liquid market for Betfair. That is around, well, at the moment it's 12. So at this price level, a tick is about 50 cents. So comparing 11 to 12, 12 is 2 ticks above 11. I might be thinking that the corporate price will go down a little bit to get back to that 2 to 3 tick level. Betfair will be above the corporate prices. Likewise, in this example for Love Knot, the Betfair price is $13.50. A tick at this level is around $1. So the Betfair price at the moment is around 3 to 4 ticks above the corporate prices. In other words, I might expect the corporate prices to drift a little bit so that the Betfair price is back to that 2 to 3 tick level above. We can see on Denied at the moment that the Betfair price has gotten even closer to the corporate prices, and you can see that the corporate prices, the red figures, are now getting back to that 2 to 3 tick level. The second thing I look for are the red and green flashes that you've seen on the screen. So red means that the horse is getting backed or the price is getting shorter, and green means that the price is drifting or the price is getting longer. I'm particularly focused on Sportsbet and TopSport in this case. If I see either of them firm or drift, I tend to be on the lookout for betting my price if it's firming or waiting if it's drifting. If you miss what the last colour flash was, you can hover your mouse above a certain price and it will show you the fluctuations. So we can see here that the last bet, the last fluctuation on Sportsbet for denied was from 11 to 10. The third thing I look at is the FLUC chart on the left hand side. Unfortunately, this doesn't automatically refresh itself. To refresh it, you have to click on the time, choose the time again, and it will eventually show the graph for the Betfair prices if that's the bookie you've selected. There we go. At the moment, there aren't any huge ups or downs. They're mostly flat. You can see a slight drift on Sweet and Spicy here. There might be a slight firm happening on Betfair here for Hell Hath No Fury. There's nothing much major happening here, but it's just one of the tools that I use to see which way the price is moving. We can see on Hell Hath No Fury at the moment that the Betfair price is $1.80 and the corporate prices are around $1.75. That's only one tick lower than the Betfair price. And given the flashes of red that we're seeing as well, plus a small shift down in the graph, I'm expecting these corporate prices to get backed now. So I might decide to put on my bet, and in this case I'll be betting on Bluebet at $1.80 or now Boombet at $1.82 before that price gets shorter and I miss it. Other important ideas to consider are understanding market dynamics. So the market percentage in this bottom row here will improve as we get closer to start time. And as the market percentage gets lower, the prices on average get better. In this race and in most races, you can expect the market percentage to end up at around 117 to 120% for a horse race. You can see the market percentages at the moment are around the $116 mark, so these prices are about as good as they're going to get on average. If this market percentage was around 125%, then on average I'd expect the prices to get a little better. That's particularly relevant when you have a horse that isn't moving much in the market. For example, Denied here, it's around the price it should be. It's about 2 ticks below the Betfair price, and I can see from the graph it hasn't moved much. If this was further out from start time and the market percentages were 125, I would wait because I'd expect the prices to improve a little bit, maybe up to 11 or 12, once the market percentage improved. Another important idea with market dynamics is that in order to maintain the market percentage on a bookmaker, if one horse is getting backed, it must mean that another is drifting. And it's particularly relevant at the favourites end of the market, which have a bigger influence on the market percentage. We can see Hell Hath No Fury is the horse getting backed here at the moment. Based on that, if I was betting on another horse and there wasn't anything much happening on its price movement, I might expect it to drift a little just to balance out the fact that the favourite here is getting backed. Another thing to consider, if you have multiple same prices on a bookie, for example 16s on Blonde Venture across the top here, there's no need to back your bet at 16s. You can wait until one of them flux up like TopSport has to 17. So there are two basic situations where you want to put on a bet. The first one, which is the most common one, is backing a specific tip or selection. And the second one is you might just want to play a bonus bet on any selection that suits you, or put on a non-promotional normal bet to help satisfy a bookmaker where you play the promotions. In those cases, you want to bet on any selection, you just want to bet on a good price. We'll go to a new race to get some new odds. So let's take a look at a market and see if we can pick which way the price is moving so we can choose whether to back it or not. I can instantly see, firstly, that the Betfair price is liquid because it's 5,000 in the pool, 102 market percent, and the prices are similar to each other. It's a harness race, it's about 30 seconds out, and so I know this price is liquid. I can see instantly that this horse here is getting backed. 1450 is close to 14 and 13. It's only about 1 tick below, and so I expect these 14s to go in a minute. If I refresh the graph, that should confirm that the price is going down a little bit. Betfair price has gone down again. This 14 is looking even better now. We can see from the graph here on the favourite that it's on the drift a little bit, so we might wait to bet that one until the very last minute. Harness races often start between 30 seconds and 1 minute after advertised start time. Greyhound races tend to start 30 seconds after advertised start time, sometimes earlier, and horse races are unpredictable, but generally 15 to 30 seconds after start time. That race is closed. We'll go to a horse race now. It's 6 minutes out from start time here, so I need to check that the Betfair price is liquid. The pool's matched is 4,800. That's not too bad. The market percentage is a bit high. It indicates it's not very liquid yet. Although I can see that the price difference between these two is okay. It's not too bad on the others. This one has a decent gap. I can see that the market is close to liquid, not 100%, but I might be willing to bet in the right situation. I'm going to refresh the Betfair graph here. I'm looking at the 270 on the Betfair price, and I can see that 250 is about the right price. It's about 2 to 3 ticks below, so I'm just going to wait and see what happens with that price. I can see here now that the Betfair price is 10, and these are about 2 ticks below the Betfair price. I might expect these prices to get back a little bit, but it's not that strong, so I'm going to wait. If nothing's happening, just wait and watch. It's still 5 minutes before the race. You're better off just waiting and watching, and then betting when you're sure. This is a good time to refresh the graph. I can see this Betfair price is now 260. The market is getting a lot more liquid with 8,000 in the pool, and the gap is smaller. 260 to 250 is only a 1 or 2 tick difference. That's not enough. And I can see this price is getting shorter. I'd be seriously considering backing this horse now if I was interested. Although I can see that it's available at multiple bookies, although the 250 is running out. Only this left, I'd be backing it right now. Betfair price is continuing to decrease. It's time to back tap and run if you're interested in it. I refresh the graph, and that should confirm that the price is on the way down. Let's see where tap and run ends up, whether it's better than 250 or not, but we should have the best of it there. Now let's say I want to spend a bonus bet on a longer shot. I don't really care which horse I spend it on, but I want to get a good price. The fact that Top Sport has moved to 230 now is an even stronger indicator that this is getting backed. You can see the flashes of red everywhere. While I don't pay much attention to the other bookies, when the whole row is flashing, that's an indicator that everything's getting backed. It's time to bet. I can see now 11.50 compared to 11. This is not 2 to 3 ticks above the corporate price. If I had a bonus bet, I'd be tempted to spend it on the tab here right now. In fact, I probably would, because I think that'll disappear in a second. Same with play up. I'd be putting a bet on there if I wanted to bet on Albert the Cat. There's 3 minutes before the race now. You can see my screen's freezing a bit, unfortunately. And we might end it there. So in this video I've been market monitoring, so watching the markets, betting late and betting on fixed odds, which is generally the best way to get the best odds you can. If you don't have the time to monitor the market, it's generally a bad idea betting into early markets at fixed odds, because the market percentage is a lot higher and on average you'll get worse odds. If you have an edge on the market in those early markets, that's fine, but most punters don't. So you're better off waiting late and monitoring. If you don't have the time to monitor the market, you're better off betting on products like best of the best. If you want to bet on the favourite, second favourite or third favourite, or any horse around $8 or lower, best of the best or Bob is your best option. So find a bookmaker that offers that. On metro races, most bookies offer Bob. On regular races, VicBet is the only place that offers Bob. If you're interested in backing a roughie and you want to bet it early, then Betfair SP is your best option. Those markets will provide the best returns in your situation where you cannot monitor the price like I have here. So when it comes to monitoring prices on dynamic odds and getting the best odds you can, you're not going to get it right every time. I muck it up as well. But gambling is all about the long term, and the more you try and put in place these techniques and understand how markets work, the better prices you'll get overall and the more profit you'll make. If you have any questions on this video, you can email me at rod@winningedgeinvestments.com or rod@championbets.com.au, or you can comment on this video or DM me on Twitter @HiLowRod. Thanks for listening and good luck on the punt.